I feel very passionate when I have to speak about relationship. Because common knowledge tells us that for peace to exist in a community, each person needs to know how to relate harmoniously with another. And all through life, there's no education whatsoever on relationship. Nothing teaches us the dynamics of relationship. Relationship starts with you learning or knowing how to relate with yourself. And you see, there are many forces that we need to consider when we talk about relationship. The forces of expression, the forces of self, and the forces of life. What I mean by the forces of expression is that you are a spiritual being dealing with your relationship with the intelligence in the universe we choose to call God. You are a social being, and you therefore have social needs. You are also a physical being dealing with your health and beauty and your physical needs. You also have psychological needs because you are a psychological being dealing with your thoughts and feelings. You are finally a financial being. So you express through these 5 areas of life. And you also need to know the forces of your being. That is, you are constituted of your gender, your persona, and your senses. So you need to know the properties you are made up of or you are constituted of in your gender, in your persona, and in your senses. Because a male person receives and processes information different from a female person. So you need to know your gender needs. And then who and what are you as a spiritual being? That speaks of your persona. What are your spiritual or your internal needs? That which moves the hands of the body is a spirit being. What is it? What are its needs? Then you also need to know about your senses. Many people do not know that the 5 senses, the senses of sight, smell, taste, hearing, and touch, are powerful spiritual forces, and they influence them daily and regularly. Then you also need to know about the forces of life, which are the forces of time, energy, space, and circumstance. The force of time alone can cause confusion between 2 people. Time can hurry you and can even make you have an accident on the way. Time can cause conflicts between couples or between friends. So we need to understand the role time plays in relationship, the role energy plays in relationship, because romantic affair in a bright room is different from the same romantic affair in a dark room. Some people can suffer from claustrophobia if they were in an enclosed space. So we all have space needs. And then circumstances can change. Circumstance is the force of time, energy, and space, but with its own uniqueness. Because the same woman who was very sweet some few years ago is now in her menopause and her attitudes and behaviors are different. We need to know this because all of these forces come to play together to determine the type of relationship you must enter into. So for you to enter into any relationship, you need to ask yourself, who and what am I in my gender, persona, and senses? And how much of time, energy, space, and circumstance do I have to participate in the other person's spiritual, social, psychological, physical, and financial life and needs? When you answer this, that will determine the type of relationship, whether it must be friendship, acquaintance, business, whether it must be romantic, non-romantic, platonic relationship, or whatever you choose to call it. And the same thing applies in choosing your marital partner. So when you consider these dynamics needed for relationship, and there's no education whatsoever on relationship, and you are bound from birth till death to relate, then you will understand that society and its development is in reverse gear. And you and I need to do something about it. So on this site, you will have the education for you to know how to make the right choices in your relationships. So, explore the Master Science on Relationship on this website with me. And I will also appreciate your inputs. So send in your comments, your ideas, and what you believe we must do to make this Master Science a day-to-day subject for every human being on the planet. Thank you.